which include way too many shaken baby syndrome cases over the years, as well as my friendship with Catherine and Rhett, Trevor's parents. It is my honor to read this proclamation for you, Trevor. Whereas shaken baby syndrome is a severe form of child abuse caused by violently shaking an infant or child. Nearly 15,000 babies are shaken every year in the United States. A third of them will die. And whereas Trevor By's Power was born a healthy baby on July 27, 1999, on December 2nd, 1999, at the age of 4 months, Catherine Power picked up her son from daycare. Trevor's loss of consciousness, seizures, violent whiplash, gaze paralysis, and massive brain and retinal hemorrhaging indicated that he had suffered abusive head trauma, determined to be non-accidental. He had been violently shaken by a child care provider. Trevor's prognosis was grim. And whereas in January 2000, Trevor underwent brain surgery to relieve the pressure on the brain. Trevor is one of the few lucky ones to have survived shaken baby syndrome. And whereas at age 12, while Trevor is a highly functioning survivor, he has suffered a lot over the years with numerous side effects as a result of his trauma, including blindness in the right eye, cluster migraines, frequent headaches, seizure disorder, sleep disorder, motility disorder, hiatal hernia, maltracking of the extremities, neck pain, muscle spasm, mood disorders, blackouts, intractable pain, neurological issues, and PTSD from 12 years of constant medical and emotional intervention. Today, Trevor is feeling the best he has felt in years. Whereas Trevor has made it his lifetime mission to educate others by sharing his story about shaken baby syndrome and to offer hope for the surviving children and their families. And whereas Trevor and his mother, Catherine, started an advocacy campaign named the Trevor Endeavor to share their story and drive their outreach efforts. Trevor was the only child survivor guest speaker at the National Shaken Baby Candlelight Vigil. He was featured in the Daily Breeze, numerous local and national publications, and in a 2-part segment on Torrance City Cable. The Trevor Endeavor founded the Shaken Baby California Connection and has partnered with organizations such as the Brain Injury Association of California, the National Center on Shaken Baby Syndrome, and the Shaken Baby Support Network. Trevor was recently chosen as the winner in the youth category for the South Bay People of Distinction Award. He continues to work with elected officials and various media groups to spread the word on the dangers of shaking a baby. And whereas Catherine Power continues to speak out about the lack of knowledge of shaken baby syndrome, how investigations can go wrong, and the gross injustice that prevailed in this case, she worked tirelessly with Trevor's father to pass California Senate Bill 819, which clearly holds licensed child care providers criminally responsible if medical evidence proves that abusive injury or death of a child occurred under their supervision. Now therefore, Frank Scotto, as mayor of the city of Torrance, does hereby proclaim December 2, 2011 as Never Shake a Baby Day in the city of Torrance in honor of Trevor's outstanding efforts to raise awareness about shaken baby syndrome and urges all citizens to support programs and activities designed to promote a safe and nurturing environment for children and families. Signed this 22nd day of November 2011.
Honorable Mayor Scotto, City Council, city officials, and citizens of Torrance, thank you for honoring my son Trevor with Never Shake a Baby Day in the city of Torrance. On December 2nd, 1999, when Trevor was barely 4 months old, I arrived at Trevor's licensed in-home daycare after work, and instead of taking him home, I found him unconscious and in the arms of the daycare provider. No one bothered to call me, and the paramedics had just arrived on the scene. I was loaded onto a gurney with my baby on my chest, and off we went during rush hour traffic to Torrance Memorial. Trevor had seizures in my arms and fell in and out of consciousness. When we arrived at the hospital, they did a stat CT scan and found that Trevor had massive brain hemorrhage. They transported him with full medical team to Miller Children's Hospital, where we later learned he also suffered from retinal hemorrhaging. We were told he suffered from shaken baby syndrome, and that was non-accidental trauma. I didn't even know what that was. The story got worse as Trevor's prognosis was grim, and a few days later, Children's Services detained Trevor. We could no longer be with him in the hospital, We could not be praying for him at his bedside or comfort him when he went in for brain surgery. We lost custody of Trevor for 4 months, and all hell broke loose with an investigation gone wrong, horrific charges, and a daycare provider that showed up and took the Fifth Amendment and was later fled. My family was devastated. This unbelievable story went from bad to worse, and all of this took place right here in our hometown, the city of Torrance. The blessing today is that Trevor is now a 12-year-old, high-functioning survivor who wants to speak out. He now knows everything that happened to him and is making it his mission to educate people on the dangers of shaking a baby. With a list of speaking engagements, accolades, and awards for his courage and efforts, we continue to turn the painful past into a positive, rewarding, and somewhat healing experience for both of us. It is my honor to present to you my son, Trevor.
Hi, I wanted to share my story because what happened to me can be prevented. People need to learn to never ever shake a baby. It causes brain damage, blindness, seizures, and many shaken babies can't eat, talk, nor walk, or even have control of their own body. Every shaken baby's lives with a lifelong sentence if they were lucky enough to survive, because 1/3 of them will die. I'm doing this because I can, in memory of shaken baby angels like Jared, Maddie, and Xavier, and offering hope for survivors like Oceana, Braveheart, Dominic, and their families, who we now call our friends. People of all ages, if they can't handle a crying baby, set the baby in a safe place, walk away, and call a friend or family member for help if you need to. And if you're putting a baby in daycare, make sure there's always 2 adults present at all times. As my mom learned this case, a licensed daycare provider means nothing. Thank you for supporting me and the Trevor endeavor.
We're going to also take a picture. Trevor, I realize that there's a lot of people at home watching this, and